You like my moomin mug? Merry meet! This is Hawthorne Sagebrush here with Hawthorne Mystics. Thank you guys so much for coming back. This is now the 2017 YouTube Pagan Challenge. I did not know that there was a new YouTube Pagan Challenge that came out in January, and also I was super sick in January and did not pay attention to YouTube whatsoever. So we are restarting the YouTube Pagan Challenge series with the 2017 version. So, because I'm behind, I want to catch up. And I found the first 4 topics were pretty much on the same vein. They're the same topic, just different questions. So I'm going to do weeks 1 through 4 today. So, the first one is show and tell, your grimoires, notebooks, journals, etc. What type do you prefer? So I'll just show you what I have. So the first one is this notebook here, which is I call this my Book of Shadows and Mirrors. This is a book I use for dream journaling, shadow work, and poetry, because I thought those would go well together. So, this is a notebook. It is a Game of Thrones notebook with Melisandre on it. I got this from Loot Crate, actually. My main channel, I unboxed my first and only Loot Crate several months ago during the magic theme because I thought I'd like it. Not as good as past Loot Crates I'd seen, but I did enjoy the stuff that I did get. So, this is the young Melisandre on the front that says the night is dark, and on the back is the old Melisandre and full of terrors. So I thought this would work well for a Book of Shadows and Mirrors for shadow work, dream diary, and poetry, just because of the quote on it, the night is dark and full of terrors, and then what we show to the world and who we really are. So it's kind of like the Book of Shadows and Mirrors. So I just thought it worked really well. So that's the first notebook. So this is the type that I prefer. I'll show you in a sec. I'm just showing my notebooks now. This is a Leuchtturm 1917, I believe. Leuchtturm 1917, yes. It is the preferred journal for bullet journal enthusiasts, it seems, because this is the one that it was originally shown for bullet journaling. This is just the black one. I decorated the front. It has a thing from my old planner on it that I cut out. It says, "Be with those who help your being," and that is a quote by Rumi. And then I have a thing on the inside that says, "Take me to the farmer's market." And this one says, "Take me to the sea." Or this says, "Meet me at the farmer's market." And this one says, "Take me to the sea." So I just kind of place things in and around. It's my bullet journal, which I use for my daily stuff. The next one is my OBOD Bardic Grade journal. Still working in it. I'm almost halfway through this notebook, and I'm about halfway through the course. So, good size notebook. This is from Chapters Indigo, which is a bookstore in Canada. It is like the main bookstore. It's basically like Canada's Barnes and Noble. I think that's the American version. Yeah. And there's a really popular British book chain as well. I forget what it's called. But it's basically Canada's bookstore. It's our major bookstore. And this is just their brand Indigo paper, as it says at the bottom. This has all these zodiac constellations. That's the word I'm looking for. And then on the front it says, "This is my time to shine." So I got this in 2016 2015. Jeez Louise. That's right. I've been using this since 2015. I started this in September 24th, 2015. It's going to take me almost 2 years to finish a 1-year course, guys. Yep. That's what happens when life does the thing. And my last notebook is this from Poppin with stickers on it from Mr. Kate, because I pre-ordered her book. Yeah, it's just Mr. Kate stickers. I don't know why, but hashtag why not, right? Sorry. So this is just a pop-in plain coil ring notebook with just plain ruled pages. I love it because it's got the pop-out pages and things like that, and the front is yellow, the back is green, and the coil is blue. Pop-In is known for making school and office supplies that are in bright, fun colors, and you can choose your color scheme. So if you want everything to be white and orange, they've got staplers, they've got pen cups, they've got tape dispensers, they've got organization trays, they've got letter trays, they've got notebooks, they've got pens. Everything you want for school supplies and office supplies, you can get it in orange or white. You can get it in any color you want on there. It's amazing. And they're rolling out new shades and colors all the time. One of my favorite brands, but you can't buy directly from them in Canada. I have to order from Amazon, and that sucks, so that's why I've stopped buying from them. Because the Amazon is super expensive in some cases and not good selection. So, sorry. So, those are the 4 notebooks I use in my life for pagan reasons. So, oh, and I forgot to say, this is for ritual planning and things like that. If I find a tarot spread I want to write, I write it in here. Actually, recently I've been writing my tarot spreads that I find in my bullet journal because I keep this with me a lot. But this is specifically for my community. This is also if I have writing to do, like writing letters that I'll never send, but just writing letters or writing journal entries that have to do generally with paganism, it'll go in this book. Ritual planning, community planning. Right now I'm planning a community class for my community, and I'm writing it all in here. I've been using this for several years for that, and it has done me well, and it is holding up so far. And I've used less than half of it so far, just because the pages are so nice and big, and I like this notebook. So, what type of book do I prefer? I think it's kind of obvious that I don't really have a preference. This is a normal ring notebook. This is a dot matrix, by the way, not not grid paper, not line paper, but a dot matrix. I don't know if you can see that. But it's just little teeny tiny dots that give you a suggestion of grid so that you can stay writing straight, but you can ignore them and draw if you want to. So it's helpful. Like this is my my planning. Usually it's more colorful, but I didn't want to get out my markers or my Sakura Micron, so I'm just doing it with my fountain pen. But I really don't have a preference for notebooks, really. Anything with lines. If I was making a proper book of shadows, like one that is like a thing, like a thing, I'd probably use a ring notebook, like not this kind of ring notebook, but not spiral, but like the 3-ring binder. I'd probably use a 3-ring binder so that I could move things around and use tabs to divide my sections. I was doing that for a while, but I found I didn't really fill it out or do anything with it because I was intimidated by that idea of I have to have my things in alphabetical order, or I have to have it like this. That's another question for another time, literally soon. So question 2, how do you protect and consecrate your book? I don't see the need to do so. That's just me. Go ahead, curse anyone who destroys it. I don't care. Although I do tend to put pentacles in my books at some point, so that might be some form of protection, but I don't tend to consecrate or protect my books. I don't see my book itself, because I have like 4, I don't see them as magical tools in and of themselves. They are just a mode by which I can write things down. And perhaps eventually I will not compose. bring everything together into one book, kind of like a ring-bound book of shadows, I might at some point bring everything together like that. However, I don't see that day coming very soon. But if I ever do have a proper book of shadows, not like my book of shadows and mirrors, because I say shadows and shadow work, I'm thinking that maybe I would protect it or put some kind of spell on it, but I don't yet. How to organize your book, a table of contents, bookmarks, etc. As I said, I was super intimidated by the idea of all of that stuff at first. So this notebook, the one that I just plan in, is just like it's in order. At the top of each page, I write. I can't show you any of these, can I? Here we go. These are just from Kellyanne Maddox. You can find them on her YouTube. I just put the date in the top corner, either or, and then the subject that I'm writing about there, and it is just in order, strictly in order that I wrote it. That's all this is. So that's how I organize this one. There's no table of contents, because usually I don't need to flip back very far, because these are short-term items in here. As for my bullet journal, I keep wanting to say book of shadows, nope. As for my bullet journal, there is a table of contents. The Leuchtturm 1917 comes with a place where you can put a table of contents. There's 3 pages for table of contents. I think the Leuchtturm would be an amazing option for anybody who wants to make a book of shadows but doesn't care about the order in which things come in, because you can always come back to your table of contents and know exactly which page anything is on. It would be an awesome choice for that. And it comes in a bunch of variety of colors. You can get lined, dot matrix, or grid, or unlined. Amazing options for anybody. The Leuchtturm does have 2 ribbons. So the way I do this is my month. So this is my calendar, which is just vertical. So any appointments or anything I have that's coming up goes here. And then this is my daily log. So I just write a sentence for every day. And then after this is other things. So my February gratitude, my habit tracker, my mood mandala, which these are kind of therapeutic, but they're also kind of spiritual. I see what my mood has been like and how it's connected to my sleep, how it's connected to my diet, things like that. That's all taking care of yourself. It's taking care of the vessel in which your soul abides. So I consider that a thing. And then my second ribbon I use as where I currently am in the book. So if you're using this for a book of shadows, one ribbon, you could say, there are also 2 different ribbons. This one is gray and black striped, and this one is black. So you can tell there's a difference. So what you could do is, one of them is where you currently are in the book, and one of them is something important. So say, for example, you want your pages on crystals marked. You can just put your bookmark there and say, that's where my crystals are. I know that I need that. Or maybe you wrote a ritual a while back and you want to perform that ritual, put it there, and then you can just go, there it is. Yeah, and then the little elastic helps keep it closed. You can washi tape all up in there. It has the ability to expand a little bit. As you can see, it has expanded. Mine has expanded a little bit from using washi tape. The back of this has a little pocket so you can keep little findings or things. I have a passport style photo and a bunch of little quote pages back there. But because that's my bullet journal, this is mostly mundane related, but got to take care of your mundane self as well, guys. But if you're using it for a book of shadows, you could put a bunch of stuff in there. So cool. What was the question even? Organizing your book. So that's organization. This one is my OBOD book, and I do have a table of contents. This one is very straightforward, though. It is literally just lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. Well, course. It's like course 1, these pages, these are the dates I did it. Course 2, these pages, this is the dates that I did them. I filled in 2 whole pages, and I should have saved more, so I have a piece of my Loic term in there to add more dates. And then it is literally just, I go through the class, and I'm just going in order through the class. No going out of order. And then it also has 2 ribbons, so if you wanted to mark 2 particular pages, I just have them both in my current page. But for example, I wrote down a ritual I didn't want to do right away, so I've stuck my ribbon in that page so I wouldn't have to go flipping back and go, oh, what course was that in again? I don't have to think of it, it's right there. So that's how I organize that one. And then this one is also the exact same thing as my yellow notebook. There is no table of contents. It is just going straight from here, and it's got like a memo number option there. So I'm just like, this is memo 1, and this is a dream that I had. And then like, this is memo 2, it's a dream that I had. This is memo 3, dream that I had. Memo 4, dream that I had. Straightforward. And then there's only 1 ribbon for this notebook, and it's for the current blank page so that it's easy to find when I'm looking for it right after waking up, because that's when I write down my dreams. So that's how to organize books. That is how I organize mine. There's no one way to do it, honestly. If I was using a Ring notebook, I would probably organize it by subject alphabetically, if that makes sense. And then finally, how to start your book, getting over perfectionism and creative techniques. As I said, I was so intimidated by using a Ring, like a 3-ring notebook binder. I was so intimidated by that, by the need for perfection in the way that I organized it. I agonized over the organizing, but never actually wrote in it. Get over it. Buy a cheap-ass notebook and just start writing things in it. Consider it your draft. That's how I got over it. I bought a cheap-ass notebook. Well, these are not cheap. This is what I started with. These are not cheap, but buy a basic notebook and just start writing. Even pick one that's pretty to you. Just something pretty that you like. Something you like and enjoy. But no, it does not have to be perfect. This can be your draft. Just write in it, and you'll eventually find you're probably not going to make a good copy. I think a working notebook, a working book of shadows, is always much nicer than the perfect book of shadows. That's just for myself. I'm not saying anybody's wrong who does that. So that's how I get over perfectionism. Just throw it out the window. Just go for it. Just don't care if you have to scribble things out or use whiteout or change pens. It does not have to be perfect, because this can be your draft. You can always find a nicer notebook and copy everything over if you want to. And then creative techniques, washi tape. Washi tape is your best friend. Use it to decorate, use it to put shit in your notebook. I don't care. Washi tape, best friend, creative techniques. My camera's running out of memory, so I'm going to have to wish you guys well here. Leave a comment down below and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you can. And merry part, blessed be.